Peace out, house. Welcome to another episode of the Knicks podcast. We are here talking about Donovan Mitchell again. Hopefully that we could just clean this up. So anyway, this is going to be my Now and Never podcast. We're going to be talking about Donovan Mitchell, what everyone's saying, and then there's just like a sneaky team that I think that they already said it, but I'll talk about it. Sneaky little team that I think might come in there, swoop and take Donovan Mitchell, and kind of piss off everybody, man. I'll talk about the Nets too, but let's get into it. The Knicks podcast. Let's get busy. Once again, peace to house. Hope everything is good with you guys. Before we get started, please hit the subscribe button because I keep forgetting to tell you guys that. Remind you to hit the subscribe and the thumbs up button to keep the algorithms pumping and keep the content going and keep my motivation high. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's start off with this, man. Donovan Mitchell. Before we get really started with Donovan Mitchell, I want to build a story before I get to the meat of what I want to say here. Role players. So I mean, when it comes to like building a place in the NBA, you have to start from somewhere. Not everybody could be the person, the lead guy. Draymond just came out with a video, and he was actually on Rico Hines' gym. So I'll share that. This is here on Instagram. Bear with me if you can't really see it too well, but I'll do my best here to share it with you guys. But here's a clip of what Draymond Green had to say. Let's just watch that.
Play a role in it. There's too much on the team that can do what they want to do. And 13 other mothers, they got to play a role. So it's two niggas on your team, whatever it is, that can do what they want to do. Everybody else got a role. So you're going to either master your role or you're going to get the f*** out. And it's just that simple. And running hard, 2 minutes sprint, really? It's going to jog? That's bullshit. You don't work hard. And don't tell me, oh, it's just the end. Because that's the end. Playoffs. Ask them how hard it is to win a championship. It's the end. Why mother lose? Because they can't get to the end. You can't get to the end. So I watched y'all do this 2-minute sprint, and maybe 10 people took it serious. There's 40 motherfuckers in here. Maybe 10 people took it serious. Why? Because you think you're done when you won't make it to the end. But at the end of the day,
so that's very important, so powerful for NBA basketball players to hear, because if you're not working hard in practice, that means that how you're gonna make it to the end is exactly what he said. How do you make it to the promised land? You're trying to win championships, you're trying to get to the bag. How do you get to the end? If you're not willing to work. So I'm trying to build up something here, man. So here, let's listen to Pat Beverly, because he also has something to say on the subject. So let's talk to Pat Beverly right now. This is what he had to say in the same camp, probably the same group of guys.
everybody here ain't Paul George. Everybody here ain't Seattle, y'all. You understand the teams y'all gonna go to, y'all ain't gonna be able to have the ball like this. So y'all gotta do loose. Motherfucker, the ball nice, so you corner man, you just sitting there. You're in the way, you gotta cut, you gotta do something, you gotta be active. Defensively, like everybody charting back, but we ain't running back. Like, how good you wanna be? You know what I'm saying? Like that's my message. I ain't really. No, I love it. This is what this is about. Thank you, PB. I love that.
Yeah, he continues on.
Find your role. Find your niche in your role. Find it. You feel me? Everybody ain't gonna be able to shoot as he pulls. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the reality of it. You feel me? So find your niche and stay with it. Keep building off of it, but find it though first. Like a lot of y'all.
Yeah, so let's get rid of that there. But I mean, these are two very important messages. The messages that's going to add on to what I'm trying to say here. Trade requests. Donovan, what's the name? Kevin Durant just hijacked the whole NBA with this trade request. So no other move could be made until that trade is done. So right now we get to a point now where they just came to an agreement. So I got to show this. This is definitely important, man. So I'm just going to show what the Nets are talking about, because it does entail to what what's going on with us with Donovan Mitchell. All right, so let's put this up here. Make it a little bigger for you guys to see. So as I'm looking at here, I'm looking on the other side here. That's the Donovan Mitchell stuff. But this here, they came with a joint statement. I'm not going to read it because this is not the Die Hard Nets podcast, right? So basketball, this is the Nets logo and the boardroom logo. So that's Kevin Durant's logo. So this to me, just looking from the outside in, it's just that Kevin Durant wanted to save himself, and the Nets wanted to save themselves too. Another thing to add to this whole thing when it comes to everything that's happening here, like I was mentioning with the guys trying to make it to the NBA, they have to work hard a certain way. These guys are stopping the money. Also too, Patrick Beverly also said on his Twitter account, to that same effect, where he was like, they're stopping the money. There's guys that are looking for a job in the NBA. They can't get their job together. They can't get their agent to talk to them because they have to wait till the Kevin Durant situation is taken care of, and that's a damn shame. So just looking at the stuff here, we're focusing on basketball, all this other stuff. You see other fans too of the Nets. They're also talking about it, and they're so happy and this, that, and the other. Let's look at this. Adrian Wojnarowski, he had to bring up Kobe Bryant into the situation. That the last time this happened, and I guess for the most part, you can read that yourself. He's basically talking about 2007 when Kobe Bryant axed out, but there was no market for trade. You cannot trade Kevin Durant. The same reason why that Donovan Mitchell's trade hasn't been done yet is because Danny Ainge and guys like these, they're asking for way too much. Shout out to Philly. Philly asked for a king's ransom. The Nets gave them a king's ransom for not for nothing. The Nets gave them one of the top basketball players, former MVP, and this, that, and the other, and James Harden. They gave him James Harden. Of course, they got Ben Simmons, but Ben Simmons hasn't played in over like going on 2 years now. He hasn't played. This will be like this going on his third year not playing. If I'm not mistaken. Of course, due to injury, a lot of it due to other bullshit too. So I mean, the Nets took on a player that may not even play for them. Just to make Kevin Durant happy, and just to make these superstars happy, man. So I mean, what more can the Nets do to make these superstars happy, man? So I mean, this is very important to talk about it because, is Donovan Mitchell a superstar? That's a big question that's out there that everybody's talking about. Is Donovan Mitchell a superstar? Is Kevin Durant a superstar? It's a stupid question, right? Kevin Durant is a superstar. This, that, and the other. One of the greatest scorers that ever played. This, that, and the other. He still, can score 30 points a game with no problem. He's probably going to do that for a couple more seasons. So he is a superstar. So you can't trade a superstar at this point. His age makes it a little easier to try to trade. But if Kevin Durant, this was like 5 years ago, you absolutely can't trade Kevin Durant like that. Unless you're going to literally get five draft picks in this, that, and the other. So here's a request that they were saying that one team was interested was Memphis, which just kind of surprised me. So Memphis, they were looking to trade because they have 5 tradable draft picks coming up that they could trade those 5 draft picks and maybe something else. So Memphis don't want to get rid of their young guys and the draft picks. So doesn't that sound familiar? It just so happens that comes out and the Nets and Kevin Durant stop the bullshit, right? So now check this out. The Memphis Grizzlies don't want to give up young players and picks for Kevin Durant. So why are we arguing? Why is this thing getting drawn out to this degree where Donovan Mitchell is not going to get traded for young people and draft picks? You know why? Because it's clear that Danny Ainge is the one that wants so much. He wants more than what a superstar is going to get. So that is the bullshit right there. The Kevin Durant trade and whether or not people are stars or hungry enough to even play and this, that, and the other. This guy, Kevin Durant, you're not going to question his work ethic because he's a superstar. You're not going to question the superstar's work ethic. Donovan Mitchell, you're not going to question his work ethic based off of what he's given you so far. Is he a superstar? That's debatable because he has never done anything. Never done anything to the point where he's like leading. Even though he is a top 3 shooting guard. So I mean. All these little terms and stuff like that is just up to the imagination. Whatever you feel in your imagination, that's what these terms are for. So it just sucks to have to keep talking about this, but it's just now or never now. The Nets and Kevin Durant stopped the bullshit. I'm quite sure those rumors are going to come back for the trade deadline. It's going to come back next off season and stuff like that. So I mean they'll work it out, man. But if they can pull their name out of the hat now to allow these NBA players that are free agents. You want to talk? Yeah, I mean, you can mention a few. There's a few that are still dangling that don't have a contract because they're waiting for Kevin Durant's situation. Because let's say if Memphis was to trade for Kevin Durant, okay, now Memphis made the trade. Now there's players dangling. Now some players might say, okay, I want to go play with Memphis now. So now these free agents are going to be trying to get on Memphis. Or the agents behind the scenes is what's more important too. They're going to be maneuvering and trying to get stuff going on too to make sure their guys get paid too, not just the players. The agent sides, make sure the agents get their cuts and stuff like that. There's a lot of people dangling waiting for this stuff to happen. It's not fair, So I'm not really pleading for Danny Ainge and the Knicks to get it together. Because I think because Leon Rose used to be an agent, he already knows the bullshit. He already knows the people that are waiting for this trade to go down so they can go on with their damn lives and get their contract signed and stuff like that. Leon Rose knows that. Leon knows that Danny Ainge is putting a lot of pressure on these agents and stuff like that to get it done. That's why Danny Ainge is doing that. But you're getting to a point now where guys are like, yo, the season's about to start. You know what I'm saying? I got business stuff to take care of. I can't sign none of my other players because we can't get this trade done. So I mean, I think this is extremely important, and this is something that's getting too far now, and it's stressing the fans out. Number one, because like here goes Shams. Shout out to Shams. He keeps posting these articles. He's right there in the middle there. He keeps posting these little quotes about all of this, that, and the other. There is no news. There's no news. It's the same regurgitated stuff that we've been talking about since June. We've been talking about it since June. A possible trade for Donovan Mitchell. And I believe it was him though is the one that brought it out. Wojnarowski said it in the beginning, and he hasn't talked about it much, the whole time. I think he's I don't even think he said anything here. This is a merge between Woj and Sham's tweets here. So I got it tagged here so I can make sure I get every message they say about the Knicks. But if you're looking, there's no tweet here from Wojnarowski about the Knicks. It's all Shams. So my thing is here for those that didn't see that video. One of my videos that I posted before, I believe was the RJ versus Cam Reddish video. Wojnarowski has a stranglehold on the NBA. If he doesn't post it, then it didn't happen. If he didn't post it, then it didn't happen, man. So all the stuff by Shams, it's good to see it. Thank you for helping with the thumbnail. You know what I'm saying for this. But outside of that, man, it's just like this is a bullshit now. It's getting beyond the effect of reality right now. So. I just want to get on to that to make that point, and I'll get back to it in a second. But let's talk about players, our players that we have on the roster. Let me get rid of this. Let me just talk to you. You got Randall, RJ, and Jalen Brunson. Everybody seems to think RJ is going to be the next great gift to the Knicks or whatever. So anyway, if you believe in RJ, which is fine, you can believe in RJ. Trading RJ for nothing or trading him and over trading just to get one player is not a good idea. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we had the opportunity to re-sign RJ. We didn't, to give him that extension. He can still get the extension. You know what I'm saying? So my question to you is if you think that RJ is worthy of money that Jalen Brunson just got, because that's would be the similar salary. So now you got Julius Randle, RJ, and Jalen Brunson all making $100 million, $100 million contracts, 23, 24, $25 million a year. I forgot what Jalen Brunson's money tapped out at. But you're talking about roughly $25 million across the board for the top three players on your team. Okay, so you can't pay everybody. So here's the contrast. The contrast to that is Obi Toppin is the guy backing up Randall. Cam Reddish is probably the wing that nobody wants to get rid of, but he's going to end up backing up RJ. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about if we was to get Donovan Mitchell, right? Then Jalen Brunson. Why are we keeping IQ? Because we just paid Brunson. So what's the use of keeping IQ? We got what's the name? Deuce McBride backing him up, and we also got Jokic in Europe. And there's other things that we can do as well. Also for the point guard spot. Oh, let me think. Freaking Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is the backup point guard right now. So you got Derrick Rose and Miles McBride backing up the 3 points. The point guard position behind Jalen Brunson. So why are we holding on to IQ? You know what I'm saying? So just to end it all, for anybody that's watching, my absolute only trade that I could do right now to get this thing started is got to be Obi. IQ has got to be gone. I love both players. I like quickly the most. You know what I'm saying? It will hurt to see such a great talent and a great personality leave the organization. But we're trading for Donovan Mitchell. So what the hell, man? And we already got Jalen Brunson. So we already paid the money for that. And if you're gonna get Donovan Mitchell, okay, cool. Send Obi. Because we got Randall. It looks like Randall's not being traded. Sorry to tell you guys. You know what I'm saying? But if they decide to keep Julius Randle is still capable of getting say, okay, you can say 15 to 20 points per game, definitely 10 rebounds every game, and 5 assists every game. He's definitely guaranteed to get that. He's a stretch 4, so he has value. Is he going to get those is he going to get 20, 10, and 5 with all the stacked roster now with Donovan Mitchell here? Probably not. He'll probably get closer to 18, 17, maybe 16 or 15, with RJ here and Brunson here. So I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but you have to choose. You cannot keep Obi and Randall here on the same roster. You just can't, because you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna pay everybody $100 million. Is that what we're doing? You're gonna pay everybody $100 million. This doesn't work that way. Regardless of if salary cap goes up and this, that, and the other, it doesn't make no sense to pay like how many players you gonna play? 10 players, $100 million just because you like them? It's something has got to give. Something has got to give with this. And one thing I would like to say also with that is just the starters. Like already, Derrick Rose is making $14 million a year. Already Fournier. I didn't even talk about Fournier, but Fournier most likely will be involved in this Donovan Mitchell trade. I assume, because it doesn't look like Randall's going anywhere, and Derrick Rose, he wants to be here with New York and Tom Thibodeau. So what the hell, So you're talking about Fournier, you're talking about Obi, and you're talking about IQ, right? So those three guys there. So Fournier, if Fournier's not traded, now you got another guy that's making $17 million coming off the bench. Because I mean, if you got Donovan Mitchell here and you gave up, let's say God forbid for those that will say that if we traded RJ, you got to start Cam, and then Fournier's coming off the bench now. $17 million coming off the bench from him, and then you got $14 million coming from Rose. What are we doing? So it's obvious what the deal should be. It should be Fournier, Obi Toppin, and what's the name, IQ. And then if you want to add the 4 draft picks, okay, fine. It can't be more than 4, bro. It can't be more than 4 draft picks, for Donovan Mitchell straight up like this. Because that's just ridiculous, man. Because I mean, I don't know exactly what these guys make here. So you're talking about Obi and IQ. Obi makes a little bit more. I'm just paraphrasing. So I mean, $17 million from Fournier, maybe a little bit more. You're talking about Obi, that's about like $8 million, $7-8 million. Maybe IQ is like $3 million, $2 million, something like that. And I'm not sure exactly. This is all rookie scale, first round pick money. You know what I'm saying? So the money probably should work, and then add these draft picks on there. Then everything should be fine there. Straight up trade for Donovan Mitchell. Let's just do it already. Because like I said, it's not just about the Knicks now. It's about the rest of the league. We're strangleholding the whole business of the NBA right before training camp. This is not right. So if anything, like I feel like the commissioner should step in and be like, listen, what's going on here? If you guys going to make a trade, you're stopping business here. You know what I'm saying? So get the trade done so we can prepare. So all these GMs and all these agents and players themselves can get themselves situated and get the NBA rolling, because that's what the big thing is about. It's I was talking about Durant, I was talking about all the stuff in the beginning, because like the NBA makes it about them now. The players make it about them. Okay, cool. We're there to see the players, but at the end of the day, it's a team that wins the championship at the end. Of course you need superstars and this, that, and whatever you want to say, but you're taking away from the spirit of the game with all this bullshit. So that's my really real thoughts about this thing. And just to bring it back, Memphis is that special team that everyone's implying. I forgot the guy's name, but anyway, he was talking about some special team that might be involved. It's obviously Memphis, because Memphis, they were saying Memphis, the Nets wanted 5 of their picks and some of the young players, and Memphis said, go fuck yourself. And that's why the Nets pulled Durant out of there, and that's why Durant said, okay, forget it. I'm not going to Memphis anyway. Probably. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Durant ain't going to Memphis. So he said, if Memphis is the only one that's really giving a good offer, then forget it. I'll just stay. Just cut the BS. So anyway, Memphis, it just showed their hand, saying that they're willing to give up the assets to go whatever. So I mean, Donovan Mitchell to the Memphis Grizzlies would be all right. Because they only got John Morant there. They need somebody else to run with him. Imagine John Morant and Donovan Mitchell on the same roster. All of a sudden, now you're like, wow, that would be crazy, right? That's the initial reaction. But why is the reaction trading for Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks? All of a sudden, oh, why are we doing that? I mean, it's nonsense to me. It's complete nonsense to me. So anyway, those that are just popping in now, I appreciate you guys. The guys rolling in. I see people rolling in now. Please go to the beginning of this podcast and check what I was saying in the beginning. Get through it. Like I said, get to the end here to see the bigger picture that I'm saying here. Because I mean, listen, when it comes down to it, also the Knicks don't have to do none of this, man. We could just sit and we be good, because I like some of our young boy. I like all of our players. I like how they fit, and it makes sense to me. So we don't need to get Donovan Mitchell. I start RJ at the 2, Cam Reddish at the 3, Fournier coming off the bench. You got Quentin Grimes coming off the bench on the other end. Obi's coming off the bench backing up Randall. You got Isaiah backing up Mitchell Robinson. You got IQ and Derrick Rose backing up Brunson. So we have a super deep squad. so we can enter the season and be all right. We can enter the season and be fine, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, but my thing is, if this trade is going to be done, cut the bullshit and let's do this shit already. Cut it out, because you're wasting everybody's time, and it's too much garbage out there. Spewing in the media, and between us fans, like Twitter is disgusting, man. Twitter is disgusting. I see people talking all day long and cursing each other out about this nonsense, and then on top of that, the reporters come out with new news, quote unquote, and then now everybody's really arguing again. But it's the same news. It's the same takes that they were giving since June. So I mean, this is bullshit, man. So enough is enough already. Let's cut the nonsense and let's just get on with our lives here. Let me say what's up to everybody. For those that are paying attention to, man, I'm also doing watch-alongs for the New York Liberty. I'm gonna be doing that for these playoffs. This game coming up, if the Liberty advance, I won't be doing any more pods on this channel. But I do have another channel, guys. It's called tentatively called Die Hard Liberty channel. It's obvious, for brand placement or whatever. So this is the logo, Die Hard Liberty Live. This is the temporary logo for now, as it builds up. Because one thing I want to say about that before I go on is that the Knicks fans, we have the best fan base, bro. We have the best fan base in all of the NBA. Let me put my man up here. We have the best fan base in all of the NBA because there's so many podcasts. There's a million podcasts out there. Audio podcast, you got Facebook exclusive podcast, you got Instagram exclusive podcast, you got Spaces now on Twitter, and then of course you got the traditional YouTube podcast, and then some people still just have podcasts on their channel, that's not even associated with any of this stuff. So that's incredible. So I mean, if you're looking for Knicks news, you can find it anywhere. New York Liberty, there is none. You can see highlights after the fact, but podcasts. You want to talk about that? That's a whole nother podcast to talk about later. So I'll talk about that while I'm doing a watch along. The game starts at 9, so I'm gonna get off here and talk about that later, man. So please go to the Die Hard Liberty podcast. Just search it. If you can't find it, I'll see if I can find it here. Because I should have queued that up. Lord have mercy. So anyway, please find Die Hard. Canal, man. Yeah, I see you watching. If you could find Die Hard Liberty podcast, please hook your boy up, man. Shout out to Canal. Mr. Canal is a moderator, so I'm gonna be putting the opportunity for other people to be moderator. I actually wanted people to volunteer for it if they wanted to. So Canal was the first one. So Canal will be the only one now. So I'll give other opportunities for other people to be a moderator, but definitely Canal is a moderator, and he'll help me hold down the comments here. So keep it clean. Nobody cursing each other out. Keep the N words to a minimum and all that stuff. But let me see while I'm here. Let me see if I can get this here. Let me just talk here. Die Hard Liberty podcast. Let me see here. I ain't gonna be able to find it because I wish I would have queued it up. But anyway, I said it enough, man. So let me just say what's up to everyone in the chat here. So let me get to the beginning. There's a lot of people chatting here, so I appreciate you guys. We got King Ribby's here. We got Core Mega. Shout out to that name. I love that name. What else we got? Oh, Jay Boogie here. Is this DJ Boogie? Yeah, 3 capital S. What's good, man? $10, bro. I appreciate that. So, man, you got any merch or anything that you or videos or anything else you want to put it in the chat? You know what I'm saying? Because I appreciate it, man. If you're going hard, then you a diehard fan like I am. Respect. Yeah, you see me sweating, man. Jay Boogie, definitely one of the fixtures here with the Knicks culture. So that's very important, man. There's so many people out here that do so many things for the Knicks. Jay Boogie makes music, great music, man. I forget. I appreciate you, man. You remind me of like MOP. It's definitely hard stuff, but it's clean Knicks stuff, man. So that shit is dope, man. So I appreciate you for coming in and dropping $10 on the kid, man. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to State. State is doing his channel as well. We're gonna be working together. I'm gonna be helping him set it up too, man. So definitely tune in for that. Dire State of Mind. I anticipate that still gonna go on, but it's probably gonna be broadcast on both channels, man. So that's interesting, man, and that's exciting because I know State has his ideas of what he wants to do. So it's good to hear for him to get a channel, man. So when he does post that channel, please go out there and like and subscribe for that one also, man. So what else we got here? Geraldine, sweet Geraldine is here. What's good? Shot clock violation, Kerry Cox. Yeah, man, I just want to shout out to everybody here. Shout out to Raf. Raf never understands any message that I send him, man. So shout out to Raf. Raf is doing his Twitter Spaces as well. So if you're on Twitter, if you enjoy the Twitter app, please look for or Raphael. I think they're doing Knicks spaces together. I think State is also involved in that. So, shout out to everybody here. You got I am Jarrell. Shout out to all the diehards once again. He has a podcast coming out soon too. We all help each other out, man. This is all for the culture, because I mean, it's not like YouTube is paying us all this money. Shout out to Jay Boogie. Jay Boogie just gave me more money than YouTube's giving me at the moment. But anyway, I'm going on to the end here. Then everybody just salute and appreciate what I'm saying here. So what's up, man? Go to the beginning of the podcast if you didn't check it out, and just peep what I'm saying, and come to the beginning, and please meet me in the comments. I love comments. I usually comment immediately as soon as I get a comment. I usually come in there and I comment on most of everybody's stuff if I can understand you. I can understand there's a lot of people that are speaking English as a second language, so sometimes I can't really understand what you're saying, but I get it. I try to comment, and I'll give you the thumbs up and stuff like that to encourage you guys to keep it up. But anyway, I'm out of here, man. I'm going to set up the next pod for the Die Hard Liberty channel. So please go to Die Hard Liberty podcast. You can just type it up in the thing. I didn't get a chance to queue it up. I should have. Once again, the branding is here. So if you see that branding, with Die Hard Liberty Live, it says, then we can get that popping, man. So anyway, I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Eru out. I gotta go get me a freaking I gotta go get me a towel. I freaking sweat my nuts off here. But I'll see you guys next time, man. And yo, man, cut the BS, Danny Ainge, because it's absolutely not Leon Rose. Danny Ainge, if you want to make a deal, make the deal happen. Let's get it on with our lives here. Okay, so anyway, I'll see you guys later. Eru out, 4 fingers to the forehead, tucking the thumb. Salute. See you guys later. Peace.